All right, so as we all know, UFC 318 will take place in Louisiana, and it will feature the Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway trilogy. Even though Poirier's fucking 2-0 already, should have done the Gaethje fight. Is what it is. It's a Poirier retirement fight. Great fight. It is going to be a great fight, and the card actually looks good so far. But there's only two fights on the main card so far, according to this. 12 fights overall. I'll tell you what those are. Tell you where I think they should be on the card, and then I'm going to add four more fights to make it a total of 13. I'm sorry. There's not 12 fights on there right now. I'm sorry. There's like nine. There's nine fights on there right now. I'm gonna add four more to make it 13. I think that's reasonable. I'd love to see 15, but the UFC just kind of doesn't fucking do that shit anymore. Like they did 10 for the Sphere, which is ridiculous. But I'm gonna add one more prelim fight. And it's gonna be like an early prelim headliner. It's not gonna be on the prelims because I think the prelims are pretty. They got some good fights on there, and I think they're set. You'll know when I kind of read this off and how I think it's gonna lay out. But secondly, I'm going to add three more main card fights. We obviously already have Vettori and Allen. We have Poirier and Holloway 3 as the main event. But let's talk about some of the other fights on the card as well. So starting off, what I believe will be the, excuse me, the opener of the entire card, the early prelim opener is going to be Carly Judice versus Nicole Cagliari. 8-3 versus 4-2, women's flyweight, ranked not even close to ranked yet. That's going to be the first fight in the card. It's going to be the one that they open it up with. That's just kind of how they do these cards. It's exactly what they should do. Following that, I believe they're going to go with, and honestly, it's going to be a fun fight. I think Carly Judice kind of brings it, and she has a sick finish also. Next up, I believe that they will be doing Adam Fugit versus Islam Dulatov. That's what I think will be the second fight on the card. It's a good fight, but neither of these guys have major name value. Dulatov is all right. Like, he's got some value. He is coming off I believe it was a victory on the Contender Series. Yeah, so he had a fight scheduled with Fugit in February, got canceled. He had a great elbow knockout win on Contender Series, and he's a guy that a lot of people are talking about. They're gonna put him on the prelims, obviously, but he's someone to keep an eye out for. He's, it's his UFC debut. I got a feeling he's gonna be early on the card, and I think Fugit's one of those guys that you don't put him high on the card, man. Like, come on, this is gonna be a welterweight fight. They're gonna put it as the second one on the card. Next up, I think they do the Jimmy Crute Marcin Prachnio fight there on the card. That's where I think it's going to be. The third fight, it makes sense. Both unranked light heavyweights, both coming off, one coming off a draw and like 3 or 4 losses before that. Prachnio coming off a couple losses. Could be a decent fight, but it's just not a high name value fight, so that's where I think they put that one. Next up, it's going to be the fight that I actually put together that I think is going to be next. So I'm going to tell you right now, here is where I feel as though they will include Chris Duncan versus Terrence McKinney. Chris Duncan called out Terrence McKinney. Granted, I feel as though Terrence McKinney and Chris Duncan aren't necessarily on the same level. I think after the back-to-back wins that Chris Duncan's had, it being, who the fuck did he just beat? He beat Jordan Vucenic by submission, and he also beat, Belagioki by submission. So, like, this guy's coming off 2 back-to-back submissions wins. He's very good. He's higher up in the rankings than McKinney, but he called out McKinney. I say, fuck it, do the fight. It's a good fight. Let's see it happen. Chris Duncan, Terrence McKinney, put it as the early prelim headliner for this card. I feel like Terrence McKinney can vibe with the Louisiana crowd. And Chris Duncan called him out. Like, don't take that as the fucking... I mean, I know you probably want him on Atlanta instead. I get it. But, like, I can see this fight happening there in Louisiana. I think it makes sense. And because it's not already on the Atlanta card, I just don't think they're going to end up on there 3 weeks out. So I say Terrence McKinney, Chris Duncan, great fight to put on, early prelim headliner, and that's actually a great early prelims. That's one of the better early prelims that we have gotten in recent memory. So Terrence McKinney, Chris Duncan, it's probably going to be a finish. it will probably be a finish. And so if you have those first 4 fights being like the Carly Judice one versus Nicole Cagliari, you have Islam Dulatov making his debut against Adam Fugit, you have Jimmy Crute versus Marcin Prachnio, and you have Terrence McKinney versus Chris Duncan, and those are the early prelims. Dude, you're in for a fucking really good card. You're in for a great card. So what's going to happen next? What I think is going to happen for the UFC is their next fight will be the Neil Magny Gunnar Nelson fight. There is just not that much value on this. Everyone knows who these guys are, but neither of them with a win gets ranked. They're both just going to be used as journeymen. You might get a retirement. This is just not going to be a big feature type of fight. It better not be. They better not like move some of these other fights to the pay-per-view and be like prelim headliner and then just put a bunch of shit fights on the prelims. They better not do that because they have this listed as a prelim right now. It needs to stay that way. I say it opens up the regular prelims. The following fight, I think... Did I get the number of fights wrong? I probably did, but the following fight, I think there's going to be 4 fights on the prelims and there's 5 on the main card. So yes, I did fuck it up for a second. The next fight, I believe this is where they should put Ribas versus Richie. It's on the card. It's a ranked flyweight fight. Or sorry, ranked strawweight fight. Put it on the fucking main card, or on the prelims at this point, because then it's like you spaced out the ladies' fights enough where it's like, okay, this is one to have in the middle, and the rest you have absolute bangers. I guess Ribas gets in pretty decent fights, and Tabitha Ricci's very good to look at, but like, come on, no one really cares about this fight, bro. That's where they should put it. Knowing Dana, it's on the fucking main card, but it says prelims here, so it says that it's going to be in the prelims. I'm trusting for a second. Next up, the co-main of the prelims, the co-main event of the prelims, I think that's where they're going to put Kyler Phillips for Vinicius Oliveira. I think this is debatably a main card-worthy fight, but they have it listed as prelims, and I just don't think they'll put that as the prelim headliner because the other fight they have is Ikram Aleskarov versus Bruno Ferreira, and I think that is destined for the prelim headliner. I do. So that's what I think they do here. Kyler Phillips, Vinicius Oliveira is the co-main of the prelims, and Ikram Aleskarov versus Bruno Ferreira is the prelim headliner. Those are great prelims. We're going to walk through that again. Ikram Aleskarov, Bruno Ferreira, Kyler Phillips, Vinicius Oliveira. You got Tabitha Ricci versus Amanda Ribas, Neil Magny, Gunnar Nelson, Terrence McKinney, Chris Duncan, which was the matchup that I made, Jimmy Crute versus Marcin Prachnio, Islam Dulatov's debut against Fugit, and then a Carly Judice, Nicole Cagliari. Those are really good prelims, dude. They are, but now we're going to get to the main card. The main card opener, in my opinion, we still get the Duncan McKinney one up here, but the main card opener, in my opinion, dude, please make this fight. Make this fucking fight. Dom Reyes, Alexander Rakic, inject this in my veins right fucking now. The Dom Reyes title run absolutely continues, and it puts him in a spot where he's kind of like, his name gets floated around for a title. Because you know the deal, when you beat Rakic, you get a title fight. Just ask Ankalaev, just ask Yuri Prohaska, just ask Jan Blachowicz, right? Like, just ask these guys. You beat Rakic, you get the title fight. Plain and simple. Infinite title glitch from Rakic. It makes sense. I'd love to see Dom Reyes versus Carlos Oberg because I think he can actually get to Carlos Oberg and beat him. But I really do think they're going to do Oberg versus Yuri Prohaska at some point. I don't think they'll save it for Abu Dhabi. I think Yuri's going to want to be a little more active than that. I think Oberg's going to want to fight soon. Maybe they put that one in Australia when they go as the feature fight to like a Volk co-main with Movzar and then a JDM Islam. Oh my God, that'd be so good, dude. That would be such a good fucking card. Oh my gosh. But anyway, if you do this fight, it keeps Dom Reyes on the title fight path because he will beat Alexander Rakic. I'm telling you, he's going to beat Rakic. I'm sick of picking Rakic because he's technically better than everyone, and he's a tough matchup for people. He's going to lose a 29-28 decision, but Reyes might fucking lay him out flat. So I'm going to say Dom Reyes versus Alexander Rakic opens up the main card. Dom Reyes, an American guy playing football in Louisiana. It makes fucking sense, dude. It just really does. Alexander Rakic, listen, man, you're coming off 2 losses in a row, and I get it's to Magomed Ankalaev and Yuri Prohaska, and then also having your knee blown out to Blachowicz, I believe. But, buddy, you got to do this. You got to take on the Dominic Reyes, and he's going to lay you out flat, pal. So good night. This is the fight that I think needs to open up the main card. Another fight, I think the fourth fight down is where you put Vettori versus Allen. I think that's where Vettori versus Allen goes. Listen, it makes total fucking sense, dude. Vettori versus Allen makes total fucking sense. It's a bad blood matchup. And, oh, what happened? Did I just ruin this for you? No, I did. I'm sorry, guys. So Vettori versus Allen is the fourth fight on the card, but the feature fight is Michael Chandler versus Mauricio Rufy. That's the fight that you need to make. I've heard little rumblings about it. You have Dariush fighting Hanato Moicano, so Rufy's not getting either of those guys. I don't think they'll do Rufy versus Dawson. I think they want him against a bigger name that he can just absolutely... Like, we didn't get McGregor versus Chandler, so we need to get Rufy versus Chandler. You know what I mean? It's a big name. Chandler's only going to want the big-time type fights, and the fight style that Rufy has is exactly similar to that of Chandler. So I think you do... If you put Chandler and Poirier in the same press conference, Poirier's just going to talk shit to him, too, at the same time. So we need this. I know Chandler took a bludgeoning against Paddy Pimblett, but I think he wants to remain active. He's only got a couple more fights left at the most, and McGregor wasted like a year and a half in his career, so I'm sure he's all right with a quick turnaround. He's like, all right, dude, I'll fight Rufy anywhere, anytime, any place, blah, 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 blah. So I say you do Chandler versus Rufy, feature fight of the card. It gets Rufy a chance to jump up in the rankings, and it's against a big name. It's super easy for you to get Rufy in there. He needs to be on this card, bro. He needs to be on this card. It's featuring lightweights. Like, he can yap. Again, like, if Max loses, he can, like, call out Max on the post-fight speech if he wins. So, like, there's that. But it just makes sense, especially with the Dariush and Moicano fight happening in the pay-per-view before this. Get this fight on the card. Get this fight on the card. Get Rufy's name in the mix with those guys. And I'm willing to bet he can flatline Chandler. Chandler, it's time for him to do 3-rounders, bro. I don't care to see him in a 5-round fight, honestly. I don't. He's not good enough. He's lost consistently. He's like 2-5 in the UFC now. Maybe 2-4. But I think it's the Rufy fight, dude. I think it's time for the Rufy fight. Chandler versus Rufy. Chandler, you got to defend against one of these unranked guys, bro. You don't just get fucking top tier matchups. Like, you got your big star against Patty. Now you're getting another big star, but it's an unranked guy. I understand for SCM. You know, everyone talks about, well, Guru talks about for SCM. I get it. He deserves to jump in the rankings at some point. He'll get it. People just got to talk a little bit more about him. It is what it is. But I'm saying Chandler versus Mauricio Rufy is the fight to make for the feature fight. Before that, you have the Allen versus Vettori. It's bad blood. It is absolute a bad blood matchup. And lastly, we know the main event is Poirier versus Holloway 3. But the last fight I'm going to put in this card as the co-main is, dude, come on. Winner gets a title shot after Movzar. Come on, man. The way I'm looking at it is Movzar should be getting a title shot at some point. I know that the UFC said have one more fight, but like, if we bitch enough, like, we will get what we want, I promise. You do Yair versus Diego. You do Jean Silva versus Arnold Allen. You do Ortega versus Aljo. It makes perfect sense. You do Aaron Pico versus fucking Lerone Murphy. It all makes perfect sense, dude. I say Arnold Allen versus Gene Silva. Honestly, 5-round co-main. Fuck it. Let's see Gene Silva in a 5-round fight. Let's see Arnold Allen in a fight. Arnold Allen's a really fucking tough guy to put away. He's a hard guy to knock out. Super talented, super skilled guy. Only lost to Movzar and Holloway in the UFC so far. And I'm telling you, bro, like, you lose to Holloway in a close kind of decision, and then you have a fight with Movzar and you lose a close decision, you're one of the top guys still. Arnold Allen's nasty. He's actually one of those guys that's tough enough to have a chance to stick it out and actually test Gene Silva in deep waters. And he's one of those guys that's technically skilled enough to pick up on reads from Jean Silva and possibly get a win. One of the only guys that I think has the chance in the division to beat a Jean Silva right now is because of how good and how technical Arnold Allen is. His kicks are good. His punches are good. He uses elbows. Jean Silva's got that crazy power. Of course he has a chance to win. He's John fucking Silva. So I think that this is a great 5-round co-main to make, and then you have the main event of Poirier Holloway 3. That is a sick card. If you have a main card, we talked about the prelims, not running through all those again, but if your main card is Max versus Holloway 3. 5-round BMF belt, blah, 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 blah. Main event. Co-main event, 5 rounds. Arnold Allen, number 6 ranked, versus number 8 or number 7 ranked Gene Silva. 5-round co-main event. Winner's going to be looking at getting a title shot very soon. Co-main event, or sorry, feature fight. Mauricio Rufy takes on Michael Chandler. And then you have the 4th fight down. It's a bloodbath between Brendan Allen and Marvin Vettori. 2 blockheads going at it, as Bedtime likes to say. Bad blood, talking shit at the press conference. It's a great one. And then opening up the main card, Dom Reyes, Alexander Rakic. You have an insane pay-per-view card. This is what you do for UFC 318, in my opinion. Think it would make the card great. Think it would make it sell a lot better than it may. If you leave it as it is right now, obviously. So I say stack this fucking card, man. You have a fake BMF title on the line. Stack the card. You did that when you had Gaethje versus Poirier 2. You had Blachowicz versus Pereira. You had fucking Paddy Pimblett, or Bobby Green, Tony Ferguson. You had the other fights on there. So I forget who the fuck else was on there. But you had great fights on there. So I say stack this damn card, and this is how you do it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe.